Hey, yo, what is going on, guys? Got a brand new deck guide for you guys today. We're going to be going over the Cougarr Hela list that I actually used to hit Infinite, and it is one of the most fun, and I think it's one of the easiest lists I have played in a hot minute, with so many different lines, so many different ways to just throw power on the board. You're running Agatha, and you're running Red Shift. I absolutely love Red Shift. I don't know about you guys, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, like I said, we are playing Hela, but we are playing Agatha Hela with the new rendition of Red Shift, by the way, which shout out to Cougarr for this list. All of Cougarr's info will be down in the description below. His Twitch and his Twitter, which please follow him on both of those platforms. It is absolutely free. It does not cost you anything to follow him on those platforms, as well as the deck code, of course, will be down in the description below. But you have Red Shift to target your Agatha, and what I really like about this list especially, because you're running Agatha, you already get an extra draw because Agatha starts in your hand. So you start with an extra card your opponent doesn't start with, which helps you get more consistency for your Hela, because there are less cards in your deck, which allows you to get better consistency with your Blink pulls, better consistency with your Jubilee, which is also helping you deck thin. You know, with Jubilee, you're like, well, this was a 1 out of 3, but now it's a 50-50, and you can set up your Blink better for that Jubilee interaction, since, you know, Blink does swap the card you just played with a card of higher cost. So Blink helps there, even blinking into a Ghost Rider to potentially get Hela, even if you've maybe not be able to draw enough cards. Maybe you're not doing the Ghost Rider, but maybe you're blinking out Corvus because you just discarded a bunch of stuff. And then in that sense, you know, Corvus could also be Ghost Rider, Jubilee, you know, Infinity Ultron, Hela. Maybe if you've discarded your Hela, you do have, of course, the Ghost Rider to bring back your Hela, but you also have Odin. Odin here is another beneficial card that can help you just either continue some of these combos, whether it is with a Corvus, whether it is with a Gambit, making Gambit hit another card, even a Red Shift, like just discarding more cards to be able to get extra Hela value, playing that onto a Hela lane where you have played these cards as well, so you can revive cards again, because the way Hela works now, it only revives one of the cards at cost. So if you do discard Hela and you discard Agatha, mainly discard Agatha. If you discard Hela, you can't revive Hela with Hela. But if you discard Agatha and you discard Infinite, you know, it chooses between those two. One of those gets back. But if you Odin, you'll be able to get the other one back. So, you know, just playing around that, making sure you're, you know, ample with your board space and managing it that sense. You do also have Infinity Ultron in this list, which you might think is cope, but actually is really nice to have another out and just another way to generate power. Some more RNG, of course, your opponent has to worry about, which is why, of course, you have Quinjet in this list. Of course, it does help with your Red Shift. Red Shift also being the only 2-drop, so Agatha, if this is in hand, guarantees plays this instead of, you know, anything else. Of course, maybe sometimes it can waver between your Quinjet and your Red Shift on turn 2, because Agatha only looks at cards on their, you know, on even turns. But more often than not, it's going to be playing your Red Shift. And since you do start with Agatha in hand, it does help with your deck thinning to be able to draw some better combo pieces. But the main reason you have Quinjet in here is going to be for your Infinity Ultron. Of course, it does work with your Red Shift, and let's say you do Corvus as well. You're going to have that extra energy to be able to play the 6-drop that Red Shift generated on turn 4. But if you don't have Infinity Ultron, you can play Legion. Cougarr said you can do Black Knight and Legion instead, and kind of think about it that way to be able to get, you know, the Ebony Blade, to also have another way to throw power onto the board. But we are playing Agatha, guys. And Agatha, it's very interesting that is in a really solid spot because of the card of the week, Red Shift, which I absolutely love Red Shift. Let me know down below. What do you guys think about Red Shift? Have you guys gotten Red Shift? How do you feel about him? Do you think it's not great? You hate that you're seeing all the Hela everywhere? I mean, I've used him in Hela, and now, you know, I've used him in Agatha. I like him more in just, you know, Black Knight, because you guys know we freaking love Black Knight over here. But yeah, those are kind of like some of the general lines that we have with this deck. Let's go ahead and show you guys what the deck does look like in entirety, which it looks like this over here. Some pretty variants over here and stuff too, but Cougarr absolutely cooked. I like this set 12 that he has. But of course, like the changes, you could take out Infinity Ultron and put in Black Knight. If you wanted to do weekend missions, you could potentially take out Infinite for First Steps Galactus. It's definitely not going to hit the same, but play Proving Grounds if you're trying to do those missions too, so then the wins don't count against you on your ladder climb. Blink is kind of more of an essential card to kind of help people to reach some of these cards in your deck. Red Shift is really key for the Agatha stuff. If you don't have Red Shift, you might want to go maybe the Lady Sif into Death instead. It's just not going to feel as good. The Red Shift Agatha line is just so nice to give you the extra outs there. But that's the general gist of this list. Let's go ahead and break down each card individually. So first and foremost, we do have the Quinjet. Like I said, this is mainly for your Infinity Ultron, because with Corvus, Infinity Ultron gives you a stone. Those are 2-cost stones. They'd be 1-cost stone, and then you can play Hela. You can play a stone and play Hela, which is pretty sick, which also you can set up potentially Mind Stone on Hela if you discarded a bunch of different 6-drops. If you Mind Stone Hela, Hela will actually get both those 6-drops on the board because it reprocs her on reveal. Also, it's interesting into like the Gambit kind of line, or even like a Ghost Rider to revive 2 cards with Ghost Rider, get 2 cards from your deck with Jubilee. Like, there's a bunch of different ways you can use like the Mind Stone from Infinity Ultron with Quinjet. This also does work with the Red Shift cards, because Red Shift creates a brand new card in your hand, a new 6-drop, which would be 5-cost with the Quinjet, which if you have Corvus, of course, allows you to play that out on 4, like I was saying. You have Gambit for another discard. It's not a targeted discard, but it does destroy an opponent's card on the board if that card can be destroyed. So Gambit is really nice there. It's also a really nice just extra proc that you can do again, whether it is with Odin or even potentially with that Mind Stone. Then, of course, you have Corvus. Corvus, you're discarding 2 cards. You do have to discard 2 cards for Corvus to work, or Corvus will not give you extra energy, so keep that in mind. If you discard Hela, it's also not the end of the world. Your opponent more often is going to snap, but you have so much energy, you're up 1 energy over them, and you have so many different other play lines that more often than not, it's not the end of the world, and there are ways to play around it. Of course, we do have Jubilee. We're already having deck thinning with Agatha starting in her hand. With Jubilee, we get some extra benefits there. This is another great blink target. You blink out your Jubilee to get a 5-drop or a 6-drop, because that is the top end in this deck. And more often than not, you have the extra deck thinning with Jubilee to get some value there for that blink interaction. Another good target for your Odin to hit in case you need to draw more cards out of your deck potentially at the end of the game to potentially hit that Hela line or just big power lines. Next, of course, we have Ghost Rider. It revives one of the cards from your discard pile. Of course, multiple cards in your discard pile does make Ghost Rider have to look between the 2. Odin, of course, can allow you to be able to Ghost Rider again. You could also blink out your Ghost Rider for another target. Something cool with the Ghost Rider as well, if Hela revives Ghost Rider first, and you have 2 6-drops in your deck, there's a good likelihood, or not in your deck, in your discard pile, there's a good likelihood that Ghost Rider will revive one of those 6-drops, of course, depending on board space, and then Hela can revive the other 6-drop. So you have that to work out for you, which is a really nice interaction there. Another good blink target. Infinity Ultron is another really good RNG kind of card in this. You would think it's cope. It maybe is a little bit, but like it actually feels good. So it's like a good cope, maybe. But like the stones actually give you some good value here. I mean, with the extra power on the stones, of course, Power Stone giving Infinity Ultron, getting him to 12 power is really nice. And then, of course, you do have Reality Stone. So if you do get Infinity Ultron with Power Stone, and then you have Reality Stone, you get a drone of Infinity Ultron. Time Stone can pull a card from your hand. So if you don't have the combo piece you want, you can pull a card from your hand and set yourself up in such a way to be able to get some extra value there, too. You do have Space Stone to be able to move cards from where they were on the board and offset what your opponent's potentially trying to do, moving them into the Infinity Ultron lane. And then, of course, if you want extra power on your cards, you do have Soul Stone. But Soul Stone, I feel like, is probably the worst. Soul Stone and Space Stone are probably the worst of the 2 to get, I think, for this list. But it doesn't make it like just you're dead if you get those. You just kind of have to wager your options a little bit more and think about your play lines. But I like with the Mind Stone here with its extra Jubilee, extra Ghost Rider, extra Gambit, extra Hela value. Like, this actually is kind of a sleeper card, I think, that works well with this, because you're already running Odin for kind of the similar reason. But I really enjoyed that. And then, of course, blinking out, even like in Infinity Ultron, maybe if you don't get the right stones, you blink out your Infinity Ultron to get a 6-drop instead. That gives you value, or potentially even get your Hela. So you have blink there. You could use it even on a Corvus. You blink out Corvus, and you can get, a Jubilee Ghost Rider is pretty solid because Corvus just discarded something, and then you get also the deck thinning with Jubilee. And then you also, Hela, Infinite, and Odin are the only other 3 6-drops that you can have in your deck, because Agatha starts in your hand. You don't have to worry about, getting Agatha onto the board from Blink, since you already had that. So that's pretty cool when it comes to the deck thinning aspect there. Hela, you're reviving cards. And remember, it is only 1 card of each cost. So if you discard 2 6-drops, she revives 1 of those 6-drops. She does not revive both of those 6-drops anymore. And then you have Odin to be able to kind of get these combos going again and again, whether it is the Gambit, whether it is the Corvus, potentially even a Hela, potentially even a Jubilee, potentially even one of the stones from Infinity Ultron to get extra power. Like, you have Odin as one of those extra outs too, which feels really nice. Agatha starts in your hand, and it's a 14 power card that you can revive with Hela. Getting this, out of your hand is your main idea with Red Shift, which is why Red Shift and Agatha go hand in hand. It feels so good to play both those cards. I freaking love Red Shift. I know that's a little biased there. But honestly, a pretty good card. Also, for Hela to revive 14 power on the board is pretty nice. But 20 power on the board, of course, is better, which is why, of course, like Infinite is one of those main cards you really want to discard to be able to get value, or blink him out to be able to, or blink out like one of your other cards to be able to get Infinite, or Jubilee him out. It's just a lot of big power on the board, and more often than not, this is a Shang-Chi target, so your opponents are really trying to Shang-Chi this, and you can kind of fight for other lanes. But that's going to be the gist of the deck. We're going to go ahead and jump into some gameplay from stream. It's going to be post-Infinite gameplay. I actually was on my phone when I hit Infinite with this, so I wasn't able to record my climb, which it was freaking crazy, by the way. Like, it was like the fastest from 95 to 100. Like, I didn't like an insane amount of time, just because you can snap really, 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 really aggressively with this deck, with Hela, and snap back on people, because people are snapping if you discard Hela. They're like, oh, your entire gameplay is gone. But it's not always gone. Of course, like, wager into what you have in your hand when you're trying to either stay in games or retreat from games, because there might be instances you can actually snap back and take those cubes back, even if you've lost Hela, because you have other ways to win the game, which is really nice. But yeah, that's going to be the gist of the deck info, the play lines. We're going to jump right into gameplay, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Since Mind Stone went off, if we had done Jubilee before Mind Stone, yes. Jubilee before Mind Stone was the play. Jubilee before Mind Stone was the play. The copycat reveal my head? Gotcha. If I had actually played it differently, we were actually guaranteed to get Hela, but I done messed up. I done messed up, and I listened to chat. Unlucky. No, you're good, bro. We're post Infinite, so like, I just wanna. I'm just testing for gameplay, pretty much for not for tomorrow's video. Hopefully, that's pretty much what we're doing right now. Is just stuff for tomorrow's video. This should just be good here. What are we playing, Zoro? FLE ball. Let's go crazy. I feel this. At Canes right now? Bro, I love Canes. This always cooks for us. Always cooks. They red shift with Black Cat. Interesting. Into Terrax. What exactly are we playing? This gives me Jubilee or Infinity Ultron. And we get Jubilee and a rock! Let's go! Huge. Huge. There's a Hawk. Odin hits Jubilee, which gives me Corvus. Okay, can I get Odin on the right? Oh, no, not Odin on the right. Oh, my gosh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Wait. Wait, actually? Getting 6 rocks. Darkhawk goes off 12. Does he have the Mystique? Yes or no? Do they have the Mystique? Yes or no? Oh! Let's go! They don't have it! Just run it back. We do get Quinjet into Redshift. Quinjet into a Redshift is nice. With cloning mats. This is cool. I'm feeling pretty frisky here. I'm feeling pretty frisky when we have the Gambit as well. Gambit locked and loaded. Because I'll just Gambit onto cloning mats, probably. Ravona. I lose Tribunal. They lose Rogue. Gambit cloning mats. There's the Psylocke. Yeah, we know negative is coming. So the question is this just Jubilee right? I think it is just Jubilee, right? That can actually be pretty cool. Sage. So Blink guarantees that I get Hela, so I could just go Gambit. I think actually we're gonna go ahead. Yeah, this should be. They could extend the game. I mean, this guarantees I get Hela. So I'm just gonna actually Ghost Rider. There's negative. Okay, so we're guaranteed Hela. This gives me Hela middle. Is there a card I want from my hand instead? Hela gives me either Odin or Tribunal. So I get one card back. There's a world where I do... I mean, this guarantee. This also guarantees that I get Hela. I think it's actually that. I get one of my cards here. And then I get Hela. Hela here as well. I have 2 spots left on the board. Yeah, I mean, like... We had so many different outs there. Because Hela was the last card in deck. That worked out well. But, like, definitely you can have, like, the confidence to be like, okay, let's run it, bro. Because Agatha takes up, like, you get an extra draw with Agatha. That kind of helps. That does kind of help. We do have, I mean, we have Hela here. We have Red Shift. We have Corvus. This is a really good start. We're facing Thanos here. Or not, maybe not Thanos. Maybe, excuse me. Might be Agamotto. Might be Agamotto. What do we get here? We get Helicarrier. Kind of not what we want. Agatha doesn't used to start. I think Agatha always had been an immediate draw. But now it like really is like just crazy impactful here. Good odds here for us. The player got taken out in an ambulance, and then the Falcon snapped the ball and just sat with praying with the Lions players midfield, refused to play, and just let it wind down for 8 minutes till the league finally called it. That's amazing. Yeah, this is definitely Moto Moto stuff. What do I lose? I lose Hela. I lose Infinite. We draw a card. Get Blink. I'm gonna go Quinjet. go Quinjet. Mm. Is it Quinjet? Ghost Rider? Yeah, I think it is Quinjet Ghost Rider. Yeah, because in case I get... we could... Jubilee gives me either Odin or Infinity Ultron. I kind of don't want to get Odin out just yet is my thought process here. Okay, Bishop. Sam. Once in future. Okay. Is it a polymorph here? Put Agatha in their hand for final... Oh, last turn? That is freaking hype. Wow, they have a lot of energy this next turn. I get Infinite. If I do... Good evening, Foster. If I do this and this, I have an interesting play line here, I think. Because if they chi middle... If they chi middle... I probably go Blink in Jubilee into Blink. Do I have? I think I have enough energy. Hold on. How much energy do I get next turn? I get 2, but I played Corvus. I'll have 9 energy. I can do Jubilee Blink middle. If they do end up doing some chi shenanigans, which is really impactful here for us. Space Stone and Soul. Oh, wow, that's actually interesting. Sentry. Temporal, so they're going to have Agamotto. Do they have bolts here? Basic arrow. Acid arrow. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. And I draw Odin. So, so this is a guarantee, like I can get a guaranteed gambit. If we Odin middle, it gives us the power, but they fill middle, I think. Is it ever Infinity Stone? Is it ever this? I think it might be that. We get Gambit. Gambit has some pretty good hits here. If we hit Werewolf, I think we just win. If we can hit Werewolf... Or Sentry. Sentry also is a good hit. Sam... Not necessarily what we were looking for. But this could be... just enough power? No, it's not. It's not going to be just enough power. Okay. Werewolf into Jin on the right. Do they finish with Chi middle? Omniversal? We just win. Oh my gosh. They did not have the Chi. They did not have the Chi. Even though it was kind of one of the lower end hits for Gambit to hit. Not bad. They've not come out just yet. Oh, sorry, ads are coming. Oh, yes! We get the end of turn deck. Is this gonna be... Oh gosh, we lose Hela. They lose Fantasticar. This seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Mr. Fantastic. What do we got? Ooh. Yes. They both are very solid. Ooh, they lose Prodigy? That's actually huge. That is huge. So, Quinjet go right. That's not what we wanted. We draw Corvus. I've discarded enough that I'm actually gonna just play Jubilee here. They're gonna get Fantasticar. They're going to get Fantasticar back. They have Bob Surge. Fantasticar is the only card they have in their hand. I get Hela, which gives me Infinite and gives me Gambit, which hits Blink, which just hit their Fanta. I'll get Agatha, and I'll get Blink back. So that's going to go off twice. That goes off twice. And then it also gets the Fantasticar, so we're going to get another 8 power left. I win left. They have 1 card in hand. And I have priority. And I get Blink and Agatha on the board. So they probably just retreat here. They have 1 card in hand. So we should just be good here because they don't. I don't think Thena even does. Thena even go off? I don't think Thena even goes off. So that was all pretty much perfect. We actually got first Subs Galactus from the Red Shift, and we had Quinjet on the board. That worked really well. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you guys did stick around to the very end, like I said in the beginning of the video, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Red Shift. Are you guys really enjoying the card? Do you think it's a little meh? What are your thoughts? I've really been liking the card a lot. I've been playing more in Classic Black Knight instead of like the Agatha stuff, but I played some Agatha with it too, and it does feel really solid. Of course, we're playing Agatha Hela right here. And yeah, I want to say thank you guys for all the love and the support. Like I said, definitely feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. It is completely free, but it's been real. God bless, and Tucker out.